like, if anything that I want you to take away from this video is that God parts the Red Sea. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Click on the subscribe button already. We're in part 2 of my property purchase testimony. I actually just wanted to shoot this little story. It's not even going to be long. I really wanted to just speak about a little part of my property purchase testimony that I didn't mention in detail, but I did make mention to it in the previous video. So essentially, it's the part about what happened with the agent when I was moving out of my old place into my new place, right? And like, if anything that I want you to take away from this video is that God parts the Red Sea. Like, literally, he provides miracles. I have seen it with my eyes. And I was shook because I don't have a lot of instances like that in my life, and I actually don't think they do happen a lot in life. Because there's people who pray for a miracle about so many different things, about family members being healed, or whatever the case may be. If somebody goes missing, a child goes missing, and they're like literally disappeared for months, even years, and then they come back again at some point. Like, for me, that is like a once in a lifetime thing. It's like a major miracle. And I feel like in this instance, for me, like, God did something I did not expect. Like, he was just like, I'm not going to make you wait for this, right? And there's a lot of things in my life that God has made me wait for, but this is something that he was just like, I prayed about it, and God was just like, I'm going to make a major move here for my girl. So I wanted to talk a little bit about it, right? So,
rewind.
In my property purchase testimony, I had actually mentioned that so I bought this particular place, and then I decided to move out of my previous place to move into this one, right? So when I had moved, the transfer for my house had not yet happened, right? And because it was COVID, there was like a major backlog in terms of transfers of like homes or apartments, whatever the case may be. Full title, sectional title, doesn't matter, right? Full title essentially means that like you have a freestanding house, like the entire like land is yours and all of that. And then sectional title is essentially like living in an apartment, like you basically own like a section of the actual like entire property, right? So the transfers were taking a very long time, like literally up to 6 months, right? Whereas a transfer, maybe like 2 months, I think, is the norm. So they were taking about 6 months. So I had a lease at my previous apartment, and that lease was for a full year. And what's crazy is that I renewed it in September, right? And remember, I said to you that I was looking for a place in September. That's when I actually went house hunting on that day, right? It was in September. And that same month, I had just renewed my lease. And I renewed it for a full 12 months, right? For until 2021 September. And because in my mind, as I said, I was not planning to buy Indlu. Guys, I was not planning to buy a house. Anyway, so fine, all of that whole process happens. I get a place, whatever. The lawyers things start in November, right? So now we're in November. And when the lawyers processes started, like the bank is approved, I've like, signed certain documents, and like the lawyers process is starting now, to do the whole bond transfer thing, the whole, the whole transfer process. So November, I put out an ad, right? Because I told my agent, right, from the previous place, I'm like, I'll be moving out, right? And it's really urgent that I move out. And then they were basically saying, because you've signed a 12-month lease, you basically need to find a tenant to take over your lease. Essentially, you need to find someone who's gonna, because now that you're in this 12 month, you sort of like bound to us in a way, you know, for the full 12 months. So you need to find someone. You can't move out, because if you move out, you're still liable for the rent, which for me legally I understand. It's a contract, you've signed it, it's binding, whatever the case. Okay, so I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, fine, let me find a person, right? So this is literally November. I literally put the ad out. November, didn't really find anyone. December, didn't really find anyone. January comes. And the thing is, I started to experience what estate agents were experiencing, because things were really, really bad during COVID. Because not only were people not even able to pay rent because of losing their jobs, right? During COVID, but they were unable to even get tenants into places. So, because honestly, when I was looking online, because obviously I was putting out an ad, and I even put it on Property 24. I put out an ad on Gumtree, Property 24, Facebook Marketplace. Like, I put out ads everywhere. And when I was reading the adverts from the other estate agents, they were struggling to get tenants, because they were literally saying no deposit on their rentals. And you know how hectic it is when you move into a rental place. You have to pay either 1 month or 1.5 month. In some cases, I know even for people who are like foreigners, they make them pay 2 months deposit. Like, all of that was not even on the table at all. Like, that's how bad it was. So I was experiencing that, because literally November, I did not get any hits on ads. December, nothing. January, nothing. I think only around February I started getting people to actually come and view the house. So I'm just like, yo, like, I was frustrated already February. I remember I called my cousin. I called my cousin to come over to my house, because I was like, by faith, I am moving out at the end of February. And I was like, come, we're going to start packing. We literally packed. We packed. This is like a week before February ends. We pack. Like, literally the kitchen, the spoons, the everything. I was only left with like maybe 1 fork, 1 knife, things that I would just use, you know, to eat. But we packed like almost the entire house. And then the end of February comes, I still don't have a person. And I was so hurt. I like literally had boxes, guys. I had boxes in my I had boxes in the lounge. I had already started selling furniture, things that are already like, you know, being like sold. And like, I only basically had the couch left, I think. I think it was the couch and the TV stand or something like that. That was the only sort of furniture I had. I had sold the dining room set. I had a whole dining room set. Everything was like gone. So fine, end of February comes, nothing. Then I'm like, Lord, I want to move out at the end of March. It's been like months now that I have been trying to find a person. I cannot find a person. Lord, please. So I started putting money behind my Facebook Marketplace ads, right? So instead of just putting up an ad, I was literally doing paid advertising. So I would put money into it, and I would put money into it every single week. Every week I was putting out money onto these ads. So then I started getting people coming to see, right? So I would get a person. Some people were not able to, like, you know, match the deposit that they needed to pay, because the deposit that needed to be paid is 1.5 months, right? On top of like just the rent, the first month's rent that you're gonna pay. And yeah, because the agent that I deal with, that's essentially their terms, you know. And they were not negotiable on these terms, regardless of whether we are still in COVID or not, right? Regardless of whether we're in a season where, you know, real estate rentals are really, really tough right now. Nothing. They did not care. So, and I knew that they were quite tight in terms of like the way that they worked, and they wouldn't be like negotiable, because the complex, it's owned by like a couple of owners, you know. But like a lot of the property is owned by this one guy. So I know they manage the property for him. So yeah, anyway, they're quite stringent. So I was like, whatever. So now it's getting to the end of March, guys. And I have already planned to be here in this place. I've already like contacted them. I literally signed some forms to get like the gate key and all of that stuff, and I am like ready. I am literally like, Lord, I am moving out, right? So it's now, I'm gonna speak about the last week of March. My Lord. The last week of March, guys, I think that week was the week that I put the most money into these paid ads, and I think I got like 4 or 5 people come, right, to come and view the place. The one guy, like, he almost took it, and then he was just like, "Ugh, the deposit is an issue, whatever the case may be." Then there was a lady. I found her. Guys, please understand that I'm moving out, ne, going into my place, right? But if I don't find a tenant for that other place, I am going to pay twice. I'm going to pay here and I'm going to pay there. Ne, please understand. So I'm just like, Imalengaga, Jesus Christ. And it is now the 30th. Okay? March ends on the 31st. 30th of March, I am in contact with this lady. She wants this place for her child, right? Her daughter. And she's just like, I'm going to come and view it. She comes, she views on the 30th. She's like, I love it. It's cozy. And the thing is, I didn't stay in like the apartments. I stayed in a cottage. So essentially the property, it has this big 4-bedroom house. And then this cottage, which was essentially like literally right next to the house. So it's sort of like, it was the servants' quarters, right? When they used to not be like a complex around it. So they built a complex around it, essentially around the house and the cottage. So I stayed in that little cottage, right? So I'm in this cottage and it's great. It's lovely. The lady comes and views it. She's like, perfect for my daughter. Send me, send my email to the agent, whatever the case may be. They send her the forms. She fills out the forms, but then they start to give her a hard time, guys. They give her, there's like this back and forth. There's like this whole argument about her being the proxy or the person who's going to be responsible for the payment. And they're asking for all of these documentations, Yeah, but my pay slip, I understand you need, did you even ask for a pay slip? I don't know whether they asked for bank statements. I think bank statements, because they're trying to see like affordability. And it's just becoming like a bit of a mess. And then it literally spills over to the next day. Like, now we're in the 31st. The lady, like, after all this back and forth with the agent, the lady is like, no, actually, you know what? I can't. With an agent like this, I'm so sorry. I cannot. I'm not going to take the place. Ma'am. Okay. Okay, I'm just like, Lord, I am out of options. I did what I could. I did my part. I put out the ads. I didn't just sit on my butt. I put out literally ads, even on my WhatsApp status, everywhere. And I was like, Lord, you saw. I even put money into these ads. You saw. Like, everything that I did. I'm just like, Lord, it's in your hands. Anyway, the debit order goes off. Whatever, right? The debit order goes off. Fam. Anyway, I had a friend of mine who helped me out with that specific amount, right? And I was just like, friend, please help a sister. Anyway, she sent me the money so that it basically blocks that portion, right? And I'm just like, I'll pay her back as soon as I find a tenant, because I was not going to stop looking for a tenant, because at the end of the day, I still needed to pay someone back, because fam, get baba. Anyway, so, and I think one or two, for some reason, like 1 or 2 of my debit orders bounced. I think it was one. But it was a very, very, very small amount. But like, even when they called me, those people, and they were saying to me, oh, this debit order of yours bounced. And I think it bounced before my friend had helped me out. So, what did I do? Oh, yes. So they called me and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know. And like, I've been with you for years and this is like the first time ever, like my debit order has ever bounced. I am so sorry. And the lady, and I was so emotional over the phone because I was just like, oh my God, no, I'm not a person that doesn't pay my bills. I was literally so emotional. I was crying over the phone. And this lady was like, no, please forget about it. Don't worry about it. We'll cover this month for you. That's literally God. Yeah? That's literally God. I was like, no, we'll cover this for you. And I was like, oh, like I screamed over the phone. I don't think she realized like what it actually did for me. But anyway, moving along. Then my friend actually helped me out. So it basically made sure that all the other debit orders that I had, were not gonna they were not gonna bounce, right? Because when your debit orders bounce, it's not even just them. It's now the bank charging you a fee because your debit orders bounced. Ugh. Moving along, what else didn't happen? Oh, yes. So, fine, that happens. And then I put out another ad. Or it's the same ad, but I added money again to it. And I was just like, Lord, I don't know what's going to happen. No one else has come to see the house. Anyway, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I'm in my new place now, by the way, guys. I'm in my new place. I have moved out completely. Literally, I moved out actually before the 31st happened. I moved out that weekend, which is like 26, 27. So I moved out then. So I'm already in my new place. I'm going through umgo because I cannot find a tenant for the previous house. And I'm unpacking here in my new place. Like, that's basically what I'm doing in the first few days of April. So at work, we had this thing at my previous company. We had this thing where we got together, even during COVID, we would get together once a month face to face, right? So we had that thing. And on that particular month, we were going to the Walter Sisulu Botanical Gardens. So we went to the botanical gardens. And my friend and I, shout out to my friend, shout out, honey, shout out. She was with me throughout this whole thing. I remember she was just like, you need to fight these agents. She was just like, she was so angry. She was like, get a lawyer. And I'm just like, no, I do not want to be hostile. I do not want to be angry. Look, I am the one who's in breach of contract here. Like, literally, I have to find a person for this place. Do you understand? Like, they know that I want to move out. I've already made it, like, known to them. I've communicated that to them. So, like, I'm not going to fight anything, you know? Especially with how they handled that previous lady, you know, who wanted to take the place. I was like, I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to be still. Yeah, that's literally what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be still, and I'm going to remain calm. And literally, as I said, I'm in my new place and I'm trying to be like positive because it's such a beautiful thing. So I'm there. That's what I'm doing. Back to Walter Sisulu Botanical Gardens. We're chilling there. It hasn't even started. We haven't even started off our day, our agenda, nothing. I think it was about 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock or 2:30. We're sitting there like on a bench amongst these beautiful gardens and we're having a conversation. I think we're even talking about God. We're literally having a conversation about God, my friend and I. And then, like, I look at my phone and I hadn't looked at my phone all morning, really. And then I look at my phone and I'm seeing missed calls. I see email. I'm just like, I go into my WhatsApp first. And this lady is like, what did she say? Oh, it's literally on the WhatsApp message. She's like, lady from the agent. Hi, Lileka. Oh, I just wanted to let you know that we have found a tenant for either. Please, Jesus. Yahweh. Oh, my God. Like, no, I've never seen anything like that in my life. Hi, Lileka. I just wanted to let you know that we have found a tenant who is able to move in this weekend. That particular day was the 9th of April, I believe, and it was a Friday. And she was saying that this person is able to move in this weekend. And then she's like, I sent you an email. Did I not cry in front of my colleagues? Did I not weep? And I'm just like, I'm showing my friend. I'm showing her. I'm like, oh, look! Oh, look! Fam, it was the craziest thing. When I read her email was basically saying the same thing as the WhatsApp. Hi, we found someone, whatever. And she's like, we will be giving you back the April rental that you paid and the deposit that you had paid when you had moved in. Fam! I was like, what? She's giving me back the full amount that literally just came off my account. I was like, there's no ways. Yahweh is not behind this. There is no, that was a Red Sea parting moment because I had no one. I had no one to move in and they found someone themselves. And I think also it's important. I think this is also a message with how you handle situations, because had I gone back to them retaliating, being aggressive and hostile, I don't even think they would have done me that courtesy, right? Of even looking for a person or even saying, oh, no, we have a place available at this complex, you know, in this area. I don't think they would have done that had I returned back to them in a hostile manner. I think it's very important how you react to certain things, but also God works things for good, man. Yo, God works things for good. Like, God knew I'm desperate for this. Come on, like, Lord. I'm like, I spoke to him about it. He knew. And God was like, I'm gonna show you who I am. Oh my God. So yeah, I just wanted to say, guys, leave everything in the hands of the Lord, right? Leave things in the hand of the Lord, even those things that you're really so desperate for, right? Be still. Like, you need to, because I was so anxious, so anxious, so anxious. And literally, once I had moved out, and after the 31st had happened, and after the whole, paying like 2 rentals at the same time, be still. That's the only thing that helped me. That is I don't even know how I actually managed to come down or be at peace. But I was just like, I had no other way. I was at the end of my rope, guys. I don't think you understand. I was at the end of my rope, and God was like, I'm taking care of this. I am taking care of this now. And he did it on the 9th of April, 2021. God showed me his face, his glory. You know how Moses says in the Bible, show me your glory. I saw it. I saw it face to face. So I wanted to share that because it's really part of the property purchase testimony. Like, it's wild. It's wild, the things that God can do. He's amazing. He's incredible. He's just, oh man, he blows me away. He really, really blows me away. So whatever situation you have, this is another message. Like, for me, I just really hope someone is encouraged. Believe God. Believe God. And take everything to him. Take it to him. There's many situations outside of all of this where I have struggled to take certain things to him for years, like, and struggled to leave it there with him, and still be able to walk in some sort of like peace, even though it's still in my mind. But I've struggled, and for this, I'm just like, what you see in the Bible, where Joshua asked God to stop the sun because he didn't want the sun to set, otherwise they would lose the battle. God stopped the sun. God stopped the sun. And that doesn't happen every day. It doesn't happen every day. Moses literally being like, Lord, what do we do? We're in front of the ocean. And God's like, what do you have in your hand? You got the staff. Hold it out. And the Red Sea. Huh? Like, God is miracle working God. Miracle working God. A huge way maker. I've seen it, and I really hope people get to experience it at least once in their lives. Like, I really, really hope you get to experience this part of God at least once in your life, because whatever is in the word of God, it is possible for you. It is possible for you to have. If it's in the word, it can be in your world. Pastor Mildred Kingsley Okonko loves to say that if it is in the word, it can be in your world. I'm telling you right now, I saw it with my very own eyes. So believe God. I'm going to see you next time. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much for joining.